Chapter 0010. Aesir Angels. Aesir Wings of Light. Heaven's Guardians, bold and true. Angels in the sky. We don't need someone that has quantum power. We need someone that can resist quantum power. Someone that can survive the ocean of the quantum. Joel Jonathan Brash. December, Friday the 17th, 2184. The Liberty Legion does a lot of evacuate colonists missions, so they have to make regular trips back to safe planets for drop-offs. Made getting on board Hell Commander Naught's the SES Emperor of Eternity relatively easy. I schemed through Angel's log of Naught. He seemed like the kind of man burned, forged, and molded by pain, compassion and more pain into a sword. Soft steel inside and razor sharp outside. I expected to be insulted in his greeting. I was not. He gave me a formal salute and said, "You get found out and your career is over. I can't promise we'll get her back, but I can promise your mind will connect to her mind. She might not even know you're there, but two minds isn't something the squids will expect. You'll merge with her mind at the right time and we won't just break her out, we'll break her captor's mind. You're the hell bomb. We set you up and wait for the best time to have you go nuclear. You're qualified to be a shipmaster, right?" I nodded. "Tell Shipmaster J. Bender you're taking over tomorrow's shift. She's loyal to Lady Liberty over Super Earth. Everyone here is." I didn't move. "Why are you helping me and Pondera?" The Hell Commander sighed and looked away. In the Fellowship of the Ring, Gimli says he was ready for all the horror of Sauron, his monsters and legions, but was not ready for the danger of light and joy. Gimli wishes he could have known the peril of all the beauty that was worth fighting for. To have to turn his back on it was far more painful than to face any abomination the darkness could spawn. He took a deep breath. "I'm one of those frozen 40-year-olds. I've seen the real light of liberty. 100,000 Helldivers are fighting for your love to be given back to Angel's light. I'm doing this because I know Isabel, darlin', she has loved you more than any woman's ever loved a bunny. Except maybe Jessica Rabbit. That's not the whole of it. Something haunts you, like Gimli. What is Pandora to you? Call it pride. Call it responsibility. Call it loyalty. I was her training wheels. She probably doesn't even remember me offhand. She's a Helldiver, but I made her a real Helldiver. Her and about 50 others. But you're right, she's one of mine, it's personal. The Liberty Legion wouldn't exist if it wasn't for her. We were 5 men dedicated to orbital guerrilla warfare. Angel made us see that we were wrong. Rescuing our citizens is the highest priority. Without humans, there is no humanity. However, I'm not completely sure the Illuminate understand they're only making Angel stronger. Shinik power doesn't come from talent, training, or desire. It comes from pain. Destroyed willpower reforged. They didn't keep her alive because Angel was just a radio broadcaster. They choose her because she has nascent Shinik ability. They don't want to kill her. They want to make her a hybrid, a human illumined. Think of it as a twisted path to peace in their mind. Offer all humanity Shinik power in exchange for submission. I might be wrong, but they will figure this out soon even if I am. Then just like the shot, we'll be locked in a realm full of space wizards using brain magic. I corrected or at least explained the shot better to him. Your mind becomes like a motherboard. Computational chemical methods allowed in solid-state physics. Only applied for a Shinik mental structure. Naught took off his helmet to give me his full attention. They crystallize, the nanites enhance, then stabilize you but permanently lock you into that state. It's how a machine would think. Metal isn't muscle, it can't grow stronger. Same principle thinking. I'm Shinik now and I can't read your mind. What? Your more intimate moments with a nascent Shinik being have allowed you to build up a tolerance against mental intrusion. I'm by Super Earth standards an average Shinik now and I can't get into your head. Shinik defense is just as real as offense. You're a Shinik shield and the best part of that is your Angel's shield. We connect you two and Angel should be able to just walk out of her prison. Like I said, she might not even know you're there. Just notice everything holding her back disappearing. They'll never expect you coming. Why do you believe this plan won't work then? Not sighed again. You're a little too good at this. Fine. I've got my own fears. I believe the author of this galactic story will not allow anything but a tragedy for its ending. Even if Super Earth wins, it will be a Pyrrhic victory with a price at best. I think even if we succeed, we are doomed to do all this over again. A third galactic war. Like an audiobook on repeat. It doesn't matter. Ignore my nihilism, it's not productive. I'm hungry with a hunger that is Brobdingnagian in blues. We got lunch leftovers. 4 whole freedom fried chickens, colonial Coke and toasted blue, yellow and white bread. Sounds good, but I have a gluten allergy. Where are we going after lunch? Visit my cousin. FTL jump 7-fold. Can't stop anywhere, it's bot country. The bot armada will just let us go there. No. We're going to use an experimental transphasic FTL method to go through solid mass to reach our destination. Are you serious? No, laughter, of course not, but that sounded badass. Besides the motor, would throw a rod, more laughter, dot. Are you serious now? Yep. Throwing a rod is very bad. I thought you were a FTL specialist. Math and science, not engineering. Don't forget whatever lets you understand brain nanites, because we'll need you to put on all of those hats after your non-yeast feast. We need to ask some bots not to shoot at us long enough to take the long way to Cyberstan. Here, read this. What is it? My cousin's confession letter to Super Earth. He's living proof you shouldn't spend a year only talking to an AI that speaks in Angel's venture country. I twang here and there, but he's starting to embarrass the planet. Luckily he typed it. I'd hate to hear him butcher those names in throat gravel.